Listen to me very carefully. You're sitting there right now, reading this, and I need you to understand something fundamental about reality. Time is the only resource you can never get back. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose respect and earn it back. But time, once it's gone forever. And right now, as you waste another day scrolling, complaining, making excuses, the clock is ticking. Your life is disappearing second by second, and you're doing absolutely nothing about it. Let me tell you what I see every single day. I see men and women with dreams, with potential, with fire in their eyes when they talk about what they want to become. But then I watch them. I watch them hit the snooze button. I watch them choose comfort over discipline. I watch them say tomorrow when they mean never. And you know what the saddest part is? They actually believe their own lies. They think they have time. They think next week, next month, next year is going to be different. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. If you can't start today, you won't start tomorrow either. The Matrix has programmed you to believe that mediocrity is acceptable. They've convinced you that working a job you hate for 40 years is normal. They've told you that dreaming big is unrealistic, that taking risks is dangerous, that staying small and comfortable is the smart choice. And while you're sleeping, while you're watching Netflix, while you're scrolling through social media looking at other people's success, your competition is working. Your enemies are training. The person who's going to take your spot, your opportunity, your success is out there right now putting in the hours you're wasting. Here's something nobody tells you. Every single successful person you admire started exactly where you are. The difference. They stopped making excuses. They stopped waiting for the perfect moment. They understood that there is no perfect moment. There's only now. You think Elon Musk waited until he felt ready to build rockets. You think I waited until I had all the answers before I built my empire. No. We started when we were scared, when we were uncertain, when people told us we would fail. But we started. And that's the difference between winners and losers. Your life right now is the sum total of your decisions. If you're broke, it's because of your decisions. If you're out of shape, it's because of your decisions. If you're unhappy, lonely, stuck in the same place you were 5 years ago, it's because you chose comfort over growth. And I know that hurts to hear. I know your ego wants to blame your parents, your circumstances, your bad luck, the economy, the system. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that you could have done more. You know that you've been lying to yourself. But here's the good news. And listen to this carefully, because this is where your life can change right now. In this very moment, you have the power to decide differently. You have the power to stop the pattern of failure and mediocrity. You don't need permission. You don't need more resources. You don't need to wait for the right time. All you need is the decision to stop losing time and start winning. I want you to do something for me right now. I want you to think about what you're going to be doing 1 year from today if nothing changes. Really think about it. You'll be 1 year older, probably in the same situation, maybe even worse. Still making the same excuses, still waiting for that magical moment when everything falls into place. Is that the life you want? Is that the person you want to be? Because that's exactly where you're headed if you don't change right now. Time doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired or scared or not ready. Time is moving forward whether you like it or not. The question is, are you moving with it, or are you standing still while life passes you by? Every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. Every day you spend in mediocrity is a day you could have spent building your empire, transforming your body, developing your skills, becoming the person you were meant to be. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm not here to tell you that everything is going to be okay if you just believe in yourself and think positive thoughts. I'm here to give you the truth, and the truth is harsh. You are running out of time. Your youth won't last forever. Your health won't last forever. Your opportunities won't last forever. The people who believe in you won't wait forever. And if you continue down this path of procrastination and excuse making, you will wake up one day as an old person filled with regret, wondering what could have been if you had just started when you had the chance. Stop lying to yourself about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a concept that losers use to feel better about wasting today. The only time that matters is right now. Not next Monday when you start that new routine. Not next month when you finally join that gym. not next year when circumstances might be better. Now, this moment. This is where your transformation begins or where it dies with another excuse. You want to know the secret to success? There is no secret. It's simple. It's so simple that people refuse to believe it works. You work. You work when you don't feel like it. You work when you're tired. You work when everyone else is sleeping, partying, relaxing. You work with such intensity and focus that failure becomes impossible. You eliminate every distraction, every weakness, every excuse from your life. You become a machine programmed for one purpose: winning. The world is not going to wait for you to get your act together. Opportunities don't knock twice. The person you could have been, the life you could have lived, the success you could have achieved, it's all slipping away while you scroll, while you sleep, while you make excuses. And the most painful part, you know I'm right. You feel it in your gut. You feel the guilt every night when you go to bed, knowing you wasted another day. You feel the shame when you look in the mirror and see someone who's capable of so much more, but chooses so much less. But I'm giving you a choice right now. You can close this, go back to your comfortable mediocrity, and pretend this conversation never happened. Or you can make the decision that changes everything. You can decide that today is the day you stop losing time. Today is the day you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. Today is the day you look at your life and say enough is enough. Listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will either wake you up or you'll ignore it and continue down the path of mediocrity. Time is not just another resource in your life. It's the resource. It's the foundation of everything you want to achieve, everything you dream about, everything you're trying to build. And here's what makes it different from every other resource on this planet. You can never get it back. Think about that for a second. Really think about it. You lose $100. You can make it back. You lose respect. You can earn it back through your actions. Your business fails. You can rebuild it. Your relationship falls apart. You can find love again. But time, once that second ticks away, it's gone forever, vanished, erased from existence. And you're sitting here right now, pretending like you have an unlimited supply of it. You know what the biggest lie you tell yourself is? That you have time, that there's always tomorrow, always next week, always next year to start working on your dreams. But here's the reality check nobody wants to give you. You don't know how much time you have. You could have 50 years or you could have 5 minutes. Life doesn't send you a notification saying, hey, you've got exactly 30 years left. Better get started. Death doesn't schedule appointments. It doesn't care if you're ready or not. And while you're scrolling through social media, watching other people live their dreams, comparing yourself to others, making excuses about why you can't start today, your life is literally disappearing second by second. Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening right now. Every single day you wake up, you have 400 seconds deposited into your account. That's your daily allowance. You can't save it. You can't roll it over to tomorrow. You can't borrow from next week. At the end of the day, whatever you didn't use is gone. Deleted. And here's the kicker: most people waste 80% of those seconds on absolutely nothing. They waste it on complaining, on scrolling, on watching TV shows they'll forget about in a week, on conversations that don't matter, on activities that don't move them closer to their goals. They're literally throwing away the most precious resource in the universe, and they don't even realize it until it's too late. I see this every single day. I see people who are broke, who are out of shape, who are unhappy, who are stuck in the same place they were 5 years ago, and you know what they all have in common. They all thought they had time. They all thought they could start later. They all believed that somehow, magically, things would get easier, that motivation would strike like lightning, that the perfect moment would arrive. But that moment never came. And now they're older, more bitter, more stuck, with even less time than they had before, still making the same excuses, still waiting for that magical day when everything falls into place. Here's what successful people understand that failures don't. Every second you're alive is either building your future or destroying it. There's no neutral. You're either moving forward or you're moving backward. You're either investing your time or you're wasting it. You're either becoming the person you need to be or you're becoming more of the person you don't want to be. And the choice you make in this exact moment right now is determining which direction you're going. The workout you skip today doesn't just cost you one workout. It costs you momentum. It costs you discipline. It costs you self-respect. The business task you postpone today doesn't just delay your success by one day. It reinforces the pattern of procrastination that will keep you stuck for years. Stop treating time like it's unlimited. Stop acting like you can waste today and make up for it tomorrow. You can't. Every moment you're wasting right now is a moment you'll never get back. And one day, when you're old and looking back at your life, you're going to realize that you had all the time you needed to build the life you wanted, but you chose to waste it instead. You say tomorrow like it's a real thing, like it's a place you can actually get to where everything will be different, where you'll finally be ready, where the stars will align and success will be easy. But let me tell you something that's going to hurt tomorrow is the biggest lie you've ever told yourself. It's the excuse your brain uses to keep you comfortable, to keep you safe, to keep you exactly where you are right now. And every single time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you're essentially saying, I'm never going to start. Because when tomorrow becomes today, you're going to say the same thing all over again. It's a cycle, a trap, a prison you've built for yourself with good intentions and broken promises. Think about how many times you've said it. How many Monday mornings have you told yourself, this is the week I get serious? How many New Year's resolutions have you made with complete conviction, only to abandon them by January 15th? How many times have you looked in the mirror, disgusted with what you see, and promised yourself that starting tomorrow, everything changes? And how many of those tomorrows actually happened? I'll tell you exactly how many: zero. Because tomorrow never comes. It's always just out of reach, always one day away, always in the future where you think you'll magically have more motivation, more energy, more discipline, more time. But you won't. Tomorrow you'll be the same person you are today with the same weaknesses, the same fears, the same excuses. Here's what nobody wants to admit: saying, I'll start tomorrow is just a socially acceptable way of saying, I'm not willing to do what it takes. It's a soft no disguised as a future yes. It's your ego protecting itself from the discomfort of change while still allowing you to feel like you're someone who has ambition and goals. It lets you go to bed at night thinking, I'm going to do it, just not today, so you can avoid the guilt of admitting that you're choosing comfort over growth. But your subconscious knows the truth. Deep down, you know that if you're not willing to start today, right now, in this moment, then you're probably never going to start at all. Look at what happens in reality. You wake up on Monday and think, I'll start my business next Monday when I have more time to plan. Next Monday comes and suddenly it's, I'll start next month when I have more money saved. Next month arrives and now it's, I'll start next year when the market is better. And before you know it, 5 years have passed and you're still working the same job you hate, still dreaming the same dreams, still making the same excuses, except now you're 5 years older with 5 years less time to make it happen. That's the cost of tomorrow. That's what happens when you keep pushing your life into the future. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. Never. You think successful people waited until everything was aligned. You think they waited until they had enough money, enough knowledge, enough confidence, enough support? No. They started when they were broke. They started when they were scared. They started when people told them they would fail. They started when they didn't have all the answers, because they understood something fundamental. The perfect moment is a myth created by people who are afraid to begin. Conditions will never be ideal. You'll never feel completely ready. There will always be a reason to wait, always an excuse to postpone, always something that needs to happen first. Every single day you say tomorrow, you're making a choice. You're choosing to stay exactly where you are. You're choosing to remain the person you don't want to be. You're choosing to let your dreams stay dreams. And the most dangerous part, it feels like you're not making a choice at all. It feels like you're just being reasonable, just being smart, just waiting for the right time. But you're not waiting. You're quitting in slow motion. You're letting your life slip away one tomorrow at a time, and you don't even realize it until it's too late. While you're sleeping in, hitting that snooze button for the third time, convincing yourself that you deserve those extra 15 minutes of comfort, there's someone else on the other side of the world who's already been awake for 2 hours. They've already worked out. They've already studied. They've already made progress toward their goals while you're still dreaming about yours. And here's what you need to understand. That person wants the same things you want. They want the success, the money, the respect, the freedom. The difference is they're willing to do what you're not. They're willing to sacrifice comfort for discipline. They're willing to work when they don't feel like it. They're willing to push through the pain while you're looking for the easy way out. You think competition is just something that happens in sports or business deals. No, you're in competition right now, whether you realize it or not. You're competing for opportunities. You're competing for positions. You're competing for success. And while you're sitting there making excuses about why you can't start today, why you're too tired, why you don't have enough resources, why the timing isn't right, your competition is out there executing. They're not talking about their dreams. They're building them. They're not waiting for motivation. They're creating momentum. They're not hoping things get easier. They're getting stronger so they can handle whatever comes their way. Let me tell you what's happening in real time. Right now, as you're reading this, there are thousands of people working on the exact same goals you have. That business idea you've been thinking about for months. Someone else is launching it today. That body transformation you keep postponing? Someone else is in the gym right now doing the work you're avoiding. That skill you want to learn. Someone else is practicing it while you're scrolling through social media. And here's the brutal truth. The world doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about what you could do or what you might do someday. It only rewards the people who actually do the work. The opportunities you're waiting for, the success you're dreaming about, the life you think you deserve, it's all going to someone else. Someone who didn't wait. Someone who didn't make excuses. Someone who understood that every moment wasted is a moment your competition uses to get further ahead. You want to know why you're not where you want to be. Look at how you spend your time compared to the people who are already there. While you're watching Netflix for 3 hours after work, they're building their side business. While you're sleeping until noon on Saturday, they're networking, learning, creating. While you're complaining about how hard life is, they're figuring out solutions. While you're waiting to feel motivated, they're working regardless of how they feel. They don't take days off from their dreams. They don't negotiate with themselves about whether today is the day they'll work hard. They just do it. Every single day, without exception, without excuses. And here's what kills me. You have the same 24 hours they have. You have access to the same information, the same resources, the same opportunities. The playing field has never been more level. You can learn anything on YouTube. You can start a business with your phone. You can connect with anyone in the world through social media. The barriers that used to exist are gone. So why are they succeeding while you're stuck? It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's not that they're smarter or more talented. It's that they work while you wait. They execute while you hesitate. They sacrifice while you choose comfort. Your competition doesn't care about your struggles. They don't care that you had a hard day or that you're tired or that you don't feel ready. They're not waiting for you to catch up. They're not slowing down to give you a chance. They're accelerating. They're improving. They're winning. And every day you waste is another day they're pulling further ahead, creating a gap so wide that eventually you won't even be able to see them anymore. They'll be at the top while you're still at the starting line, still making the same excuses, still convincing yourself that you'll start tomorrow. Stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming your parents for not giving you a better start. Stop blaming the economy for your financial situation. Stop blaming your job, your boss, your circumstances, or your bad luck for where you are in life. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. You are exactly where you deserve to be based on the decisions you've made. Every single choice you've made up until this point has led you to this exact moment. You're not a victim of circumstances. You're a product of your decisions. And the sooner you accept that brutal reality, the sooner you can actually change your life. You're broke. That's because you chose to spend money instead of invest it. You chose to buy things you didn't need instead of building assets that generate income. You chose the temporary pleasure of consumption over the long-term reward of wealth building. You're out of shape. That's because you chose the couch over the gym. You chose fast food over healthy meals. You chose comfort over discipline. Every single day, you made the choice to stay the same instead of getting better. You're stuck in a job you hate. That's because you chose security over risk. You chose to stay comfortable instead of betting on yourself. You chose to complain instead of taking action to change your situation. I know that hurts. I know your ego is screaming right now, trying to defend itself, trying to justify why your situation is different, why you really are a victim of things beyond your control. But let me ask you something. What has that mindset gotten you so far? How has blaming others improved your life? How has making excuses moved you closer to your goals? It hasn't. All it's done is keep you exactly where you are, allowing you to feel better about your failure while doing nothing to change it. That's what victim mentality does. It protects your ego at the expense of your growth. Look at your daily routine and you'll see exactly why your life looks the way it does. You wake up late because you chose to stay up scrolling through your phone instead of getting proper sleep. You skip breakfast or eat garbage because you chose not to prepare. You show up to work unmotivated because you chose a job based on convenience instead of passion or growth potential. You come home exhausted and waste your evening on entertainment because you chose instant gratification over building skills that could change your life. Then you go to bed feeling unfulfilled, promising yourself tomorrow will be different, but making no actual decision to change your behavior. And then you wonder why nothing changes. You wonder why you're still in the same place year after year. Here's what separates winners from losers. Winners take responsibility for everything in their lives. Everything. Even things that aren't technically their fault. Because they understand that the moment you blame someone or something else, you give away your power. You're basically saying, my life is controlled by external forces and there's nothing I can do about it. But the moment you take full responsibility, even for things beyond your control, you reclaim your power. You're saying, I may not control what happens to me, but I control how I respond and I control what I do next. Think about two people who grew up in the exact same circumstances, same neighborhood, same schools, same economic background. One becomes successful, the other doesn't. Why? Because they made different decisions. One decided to use their circumstances as motivation. The other decided to use their circumstances as an excuse. One decided to take responsibility for their future regardless of their past. The other decided to blame their past for their future. Same starting point, completely different outcomes, all because of the decisions they made. Your life right now is a mirror reflecting every choice you've made. If you don't like what you see, stop blaming the mirror. Stop blaming the world. Stop blaming other people. The only person responsible for changing your reflection is you. And the only way to change it is to start making different decisions today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. This moment, you can't change your past, but you can absolutely change your future by taking full ownership of your decisions from this point forward. The question is, are you ready to stop being a victim and start being the architect of your own destiny? They want you average. They need you average. The system, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, is designed to keep you exactly where you are right now. Comfortable enough not to rebel, but struggling enough that you can't escape. They've programmed you from childhood to accept mediocrity as normal, to see a life of quiet desperation as the standard path, to believe that dreaming big is unrealistic and dangerous. And you know what the scariest part is? You've accepted it. You've internalized their lies so deeply that you actually defend your own limitations. You've become your own prison guard, keeping yourself locked in a cell of mediocrity while convincing yourself it's for your own good. Look at what they've sold you as success. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, find a stable job, work for 40 years, retire at 65 if you're lucky, and then finally live your life when you're too old and tired to enjoy it. That's the dream they've given you. That's what you're working toward. Spending the best years of your life making someone else rich, trading your time for just enough money to survive, living for the weekends, counting down to vacation days, existing in this perpetual state of not quite miserable enough to quit, but never truly happy. And society calls this normal. They call this being responsible. They call this success. But let me tell you what it really is. It's a slow death. It's watching your dreams die a little bit every single day. It's feeling that spark of ambition, that fire inside you that says you're meant for more, and slowly suffocating it with excuses and comfort and fear until one day you can't even remember what you wanted to become. Mediocrity doesn't kill you all at once. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It kills you slowly, day by day, choice by choice, compromise by compromise, until you wake up at 50 years old and realize you've lived someone else's life instead of your own. You see it everywhere. Look at the people around you. How many of them are actually happy? How many of them are genuinely excited about their lives? How many of them wake up with purpose and passion instead of hitting snooze 5 times and dragging themselves out of bed to do something they hate? Most people are walking zombies. They're alive, but they're not living. They've traded their dreams for security. They've traded their potential for comfort. They've traded the possibility of greatness for the guarantee of mediocrity. And they tell themselves it's okay because everyone else is doing it too. But here's what they don't tell you: comfort is the enemy of growth. Every time you choose the easy path, you're choosing to stay exactly who you are. Every time you avoid discomfort, you're avoiding the very thing that would transform you into who you need to become. The gym is uncomfortable, so you skip it and stay out of shape. Starting a business is risky, so you stay at your safe job and stay broke. Having difficult conversations is awkward, so you avoid them and stay in unfulfilling relationships. Learning new skills is hard, so you stick with what you know and stay stagnant. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it's poison for your future. The Matrix has convinced you that wanting more is greedy, that ambition is selfish, that standing out is arrogant. They've programmed you to stay small, to not make waves, to fit in with the crowd of mediocrity. Because the moment you decide to break free, the moment you decide to pursue excellence, the moment you decide to build something extraordinary, you become dangerous to the system. You become proof that their lies are false. You become evidence that people don't have to settle. And they can't have that. So they'll try to pull you back down. Your friends will call you crazy. Your family will tell you to be realistic. Society will tell you to be grateful for what you have and stop reaching for more. But settling for mediocrity is not gratitude. It's not humility. It's not being realistic. It's giving up on yourself. It's accepting less than you're capable of because you're too afraid to fail, too comfortable to try, too programmed to believe you can actually win. You're waiting to feel ready. You're waiting for the perfect plan. You're waiting for all the answers to magically appear before you take the first step. But let me destroy that illusion right now. Every single person you admire, every successful entrepreneur, every champion, every person living the life you dream about, they all started before they were ready. They started when they were scared. They started when they had no idea what they were doing. They started when people told them they would fail. They started with incomplete information, limited resources, and zero guarantees. And that's exactly why they succeeded. Because they understood something you don't. Action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. Starting imperfectly is infinitely better than waiting perfectly. You think Elon Musk knew how to build rockets when he started SpaceX? You think he sat in his room waiting until he had every single detail figured out? No. He hired people who knew more than him. He learned as he went. He failed repeatedly, and he adjusted. You think I knew everything about building a business empire when I started? Absolutely not. I made mistakes. I lost money. I looked like an idiot plenty of times. But I started. And every mistake taught me something. Every failure made me better. Every problem I encountered forced me to develop new skills. That's how it works. You don't get good and then start. You start and then get good. But you're sitting there researching for months, planning for years, waiting for that moment when you'll have total confidence and complete knowledge before you take action. And while you're doing that, someone with half your intelligence and a quarter of your resources is out there building, failing, learning, and succeeding. Because they're not waiting for permission. They're not waiting to feel ready. They're not waiting for the universe to send them a sign. They're just doing it. They're taking messy, imperfect action every single day. And that action compounds into results while your perfect plan stays theoretical forever. Here's the truth about readiness that nobody tells you. You will never feel completely ready for anything important in your life. You weren't ready for your first day of school. You weren't ready for your first job. You weren't ready for your first relationship, but you did those things anyway, and you figured it out. That's how life works. You jump and you build your wings on the way down. You start the business before you know everything about business. You launch the product before it's perfect. You put yourself out there before you feel confident. Because confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. Look at what happens when you actually start. You encounter real problems instead of imaginary ones. You learn what works and what doesn't through experience, not theory. You meet people who can help you. You discover opportunities you never would have seen from the sidelines. You build skills you can't develop from reading and planning. Every action you take, even if it's wrong, gives you information. Every mistake you make teaches you something valuable. Every failure gets you closer to success because now you know one more way that doesn't work. But when you're just sitting there waiting, planning, researching, you're learning nothing. You're gaining no experience. You're making no progress. The market doesn't reward planning. It rewards execution. Your bank account doesn't grow from ideas. It grows from action. Your body doesn't transform from workout plans saved on your phone. It transforms from actually going to the gym. Your business doesn't materialize from a perfect business plan sitting in your drawer. It materializes from launching, selling, serving customers, and improving as you go. Results come from doing, not from preparing to do. You know what separates successful people from everyone else? It's not intelligence. It's not resources. It's not connections. It's willingness to start before they're ready and figure things out along the way. They're willing to look stupid. They're willing to make mistakes. They're willing to fail publicly. They're willing to be imperfect because they understand that imperfect action today beats perfect planning forever. Stop waiting for readiness that will never come and start building the life you want right now. Your time is running out, not in some abstract, distant future way. Right now. Every second you waste is a second you'll never recover. So what's it going to be? Are you going to continue being another nobody who had potential but never did anything with it? Or are you going to become the person you know you're capable of being? The clock is ticking. Stop losing time now. Start winning today. The choice is yours, but make it fast because time waits for no one.